Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's £300 million transfer dash. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Remember, if you want to watch United Stand FC playing tomorrow, I'm wearing a top. Midday tomorrow. Links in the details are in the video description as to how you can come down and watch us. But let's fly into the show. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, £300 million to spend. And what I'm going to do is go through how United, in what some people would say is a short period of time, going through some of the comments that you've said over the week, but also my feelings as well. The assumption here is that we lose Paul Pogba, and the reality is that we are in this situation. This isn't a video being made in February. We're not talking about signing Kylian Mbappe. We're talking real talk, Manchester United transfer news. What are we going to do over the next few weeks? What have we got to spend? How do we do it? What's available? Let's get realistic. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cover all the positions that I think we need to cover for around £300 million, because that is the task that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has. I think Manchester United have got around £200 million to spend. If Pogba is sold, that's got to go up to about £300 million. So we start off with Wan-Bissaka, as you can see on the screen, 21 years of age, right back. Lots and lots and lots of speculation about Wan-Bissaka. For me, he's a good player to bring to United. He's probably a little bit too expensive. And I only say that in relation to the transfer budget. If he's 50 million quid, that's a good 25% of our transfer budget gone on a position that actually, is it a priority? You take 25% of the budget to spend on a right back, leaving you 75% of the budget to spend on centre-back, two midfielders and a right winger. That's my only issue with this, unless the transfer budget's a little bit bigger. And selling Pogba will help that budget go a little bit bigger. Look, he's a fantastic prospect, young player, Premier League proven. You know, anybody's better than Ashley Young, but that's not a reason to sign Wan-Bissaka. The reason to sign him is he's a very, very good right back. 50 million quid looks like the minimum we're going to pay. There is some talk that Crystal Palace wants 70. You forget about it. I mean, seriously, you know, there's some United fans saying just spend whatever to get Ashley Young out of the picture. We've only got so much money to spend. We have only got so much money to spend, and £70 million on a right back, I don't care if it's prime Cafu. It's not worth doing, so I wouldn't do it. But Wan-Bissaka, 50 million quid, I think most people feel that that's probably about right. It is a large proportion of the transfer budget, but we spent £50 million on Wan-Bissaka. Nobody else is in for him. It's us or he stays at Palace. It's as simple as that. So Wan-Bissaka, come on down. My second player, you can see there, he's a 5-star. He's a 5-star signing. 5-star signing. There's no better than that. Koulibaly. Now, a lot of people would say, well, I thought we were going for Maguire. What about De Ligt? Look, I don't think De Ligt is realistic. £350,000 a week is ridiculous. And I don't think Harry Maguire satisfies the needs of the club for the price they'll have to pay. I'm very happy with Harry Maguire and I nearly put him in. But I thought, you know what? If Harry Maguire is going to be £80 million, Koulibaly, I'm convinced we will get Koulibaly for 100 million. It's the world transfer record for a centre-back. It's 9 digits. You know, no one's ever done that for a centre-back before. So 100 million pounds, the first 100 million pound centre-back. Napoli will be all over that. And the reality is, Harry Maguire, we're probably not going to get him for any less than 75 to 80 million. So for an extra 20 million, you get Harry Maguire's a 3-star player. He can become a 4-star player, he's still got time. But Koulibaly is one of the top 5 centre-backs in world football. £100 million, go and get him. Simple as that. Interest-wise, Manchester United would be the number 1 target, I feel, who's most interested because we need a centre-back. Real Madrid were looking at him a couple of months ago. If he became available, they might fancy it. But the money Real Madrid have spent, and potentially they want Pogba, I can't see them entering the fray. And also PSG, maybe they're going to get De Ligt. So it's a free run at a top-class centre-back. The only thing that's going to happen with Koulibaly is going to stay at Napoli. But to stop that, you know, Napoli can be very, very confident. But to stop that, you go in with a big fee. And this is what, you know, I don't want to talk about Real Madrid, but their transfer window is still open till the start of September. Ours closes at the start of August. They've got a month more business they could do than us. And they've done loads more already because they know what they want and they're going to go and get it. And, you know, they've not spent ridiculous amounts of money because they've been working on these deals for a while. And I feel that Koulibaly is probably slipping through our hand like a bucket full of sand. But because he's off on the African Nations Tour, so African Nations Cup. So how do you even sign a player like that? But it could have been done. It could still be done. And it takes a big effort to do it. And I just don't feel that Manchester United make enough of a big effort for the right sort of players. I think it's like, ooh, there's Koulibaly for 100 million. let's get Maguire for 80 million, when Maguire does have an element. I like Maguire. If we sign him, I will support him. But there is more of an element of risk with someone like Maguire than there is with Koulibaly, who's one of the best centre-backs in the world. And the difference is 20 million. But the way our club is run, we'll go, yeah, but it's 20 million we've saved. But you're spending 80 million on a centre-back where there's an element of risk, where another 20 million would get you a top leader, dominant in the air, quick, brilliant centre-back. Yeah, you know what, he's coming up for being 28 very soon, but United need a dominant centre-back, and I would go with Koulibaly. So that's 100 million. Add that to the 50 million we've spent on Wan-Bissaka, 150 million quid spent, right back, centre-back achieved. So we're spending a lot of money here, 150 million. Right, my next target would be Thomas Partey, a little bit more economical. Remember, Pogba's gone. This is a £300 million challenge, £200 million that I think we've got to spend, plus another 100 we'd get from Pogba. I don't think they'd give us the full 150 or whatever we'd get for Pogba. I think they'd keep some back, to be honest with you. So we're saying 300 million. We've spent 150 million. We're now moving into the midfield. And remember, we need to sign 3 midfielders. We need to sign 3 midfielders because if Pogba stays, it's 2. If Pogba goes, it's 3. Thomas Partey fits the bill. Now, whether Manchester United are in for him or not, I don't know. I've said medium interest there, medium interest from PSG, medium interest from Liverpool, medium interest from Inter Milan. The usual suspects, really, because nobody really knows. All we know with Thomas Partey, £43 million release clause. His agent won't shut up about that. Is it for a new contract at Atletico Madrid, or does he fancy a move to England, which is what his father said a couple of weeks ago? What you get with Thomas Partey is a very dynamic, quick, aggressive, good on the ball, well-disciplined midfielder who can play a multitude of positions within the midfield. I think he can also play right wing and right back as well. But he can play the CDM role. He can play box-to-box. He is very, very, very efficient in that role, like any player who's played for Atletico Madrid. He's 26, so he's prime. He's 43 million, which is ridiculously cheap for a player like that. Go and get the deal done. Go and get that deal done. That's one of your midfielders done. There's not a lot more to say about that. Everybody knows who Thomas Partey is because you've probably seen Atletico Madrid playing. He's better than any midfielder we've got apart from Pogba. And that, to me, makes him a very, very good target for Manchester United. £43 million spent takes my total spend on 3 players, Koulibaly, Partey and Wan-Bissaka, to just over £190 million. And that's one of the midfielders gone. My second midfielder, Youri Tielemans. I know I spoke about him this morning as being linked to us. He wants to leave Monaco. He has seen what the Premier League's all about. Manchester United is a better club than Leicester City. It's a fact. Leicester City are favourites to sign him, but if United are aggressive, why would he not come to Manchester United? This is a lad who we've been looking at when he was at Anderlecht a couple of years ago and thought, oh, is he ready? And I think the thing with Youri Tielemans was, well, we don't know whether he's ready. But he's proved that in the Premier League with Leicester over the last few months. Goals, assists, getting stuck in, again, tenacious, but very, very technically, very, very, very good. He would be a real addition to Manchester United. He's only 22 years of age. I think Monaco would sell him for about 40 million quid. 40 million quid I think you'd get him for. Leicester obviously favourites to get him, but there are other clubs floating around. Manchester United ourselves, Arsenal potentially, maybe even a Man City. He's a decent player, Youri Tielemans, and I think he would be a very decent option. And I think when you look at Tielemans, you've got to ask the question, is he better than Ander Herrera? And I think Manchester United made a big mistake selling Ander Herrera, but I would look at it and go, look, Tielemans has got a higher graph than Herrera. Herrera is definitely over the next few years coming down the graph, and I think Tielemans can go above Herrera in potential and ability. He's also 22, so he's a lot younger, and it suits the rebuild. He's the perfect sort of signing for Manchester United. He's looking for a step up. He's got the potential to be one of the top 10 midfielders in Europe. He's got a lot more left in the tank, a lot more development, and he's already shown that he's Premier League proven. This is where United can make mistakes, though. This is where United can go, let's get Sean Longstaff, 25, English, who's only a year younger than Youri Tielemans, and you look at what Youri Tielemans has done. Don't be obsessed with British English players. Youri Tielemans, Premier League proven, 22. Doesn't matter that he's Belgian. I don't know why we've got that obsession. I think he'd be a very good signing for United. 40 million, which means you've got Wan-Bissaka, Koulibaly, Partey and Tielemans for, let me do quick maths, just over 230 million. 230 million then, we've got 2 midfielders, a centre-back and a right-back. The next spot is going to be another midfielder, and it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. This will take our spending to 290 million, and this is where it gets dangerous because we've still not got a right winger, and we've spent nearly 300 million pounds. And I think this is a really worthwhile topic for everybody to discuss and think, because the reality is, like I say, we're living this reality now. We're all talking about all these signings that we're going to make, but Manchester United, as we know, We ain't going to spend £400-500 million. We probably need to, but we're not going to do that. So you've got to look at the spends. You've got to look at the positions. You've got to look at where you are. If we get Bruno Fernandes, Yuri Tielemans and Partey, as well as a centre-back and a right-back, and sell Pogba, I've still spent 300 million and we haven't got a right winger. And this is where I start to get concerned about what United might do in this transfer window. Because spending big on Wan-Bissaka hurts us later on down the line, but he's a very good right-back. With regards to Bruno Fernandes, this deal should be done. We're getting loads and loads of stories from Portugal. Don't always listen to that. Think about players from Portugal where we've been linked in the past and we've never been anywhere near. Gayton was a prime example of Benfica. We need this deal to be done. Spurs are backing off. Man City have backed off. It's a clean run for United, probably Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan again, and maybe Liverpool. But United have got to get this deal over the line because he gives us some, I think Bruno Fernandes should come to United even if Pogba stays, but if he goes, he's got to come. He's absolutely essential to Manchester United if Pogba goes. And I think Pogba is going to go. The goals he brings, the creativity he brings, the tenacity he brings, the fact that he's hungry, he's looking to step up and go to a bigger league, I think he ticks every single box. And also, on top of that, he's going to come at a reasonable price. 60 million quid for a player like that is reasonable. All right, there's going to be add-ons and all sorts of stuff. But for a 24-year-old who's got many years left in him, again, he's got those things that we really need, that plenty left in the tank to get better, plenty of development, hungry to move to a bigger club, prove himself. I think Bruno Fernandes is perfect. And look, if Pogba goes and we bring Partey, Tielemans and Bruno Fernandes into our midfield, I'm not massively concerned because the thing that people get concerned about Pogba is, we can't lose Pogba. But Pogba wants to go. If Pogba goes, it's because he wants to go. United don't want to sell him. He's not for sale. So if Pogba goes, he's manufactured that move. He's forced that move. And United are right to let him go if he does that. So if he goes, we got to deal with it. I ain't going to cry over Pogba leaving because all I'll have in my head, he wants to go. United don't want to sell him. So if he gets a move, it's because he wants to go. And if Pogba's out the equation and we get Partey, Tielemans and Bruno Fernandes, I'll be very happy. And I know people are going to say, well, what about Rabiot? What about Longstaff? What about Ndidi? Well, what about them? This is what I would go with. I like the fact that Thomas Partey can play the CDM role. I like the fact that Tielemans could do that at a push, but they can both play box to box. And I like the fact that Bruno Fernandes has got that attacking element to his game. But so's Tielemans. He can be a creator as well. So that's what United's midfield needs to be next season. I think last season, if Pogba has a bad game, we're screwed because he's the only creator. McTominay can't create. Fred's been a letdown. Pereira, I don't know whether I think he's missed the boat, to be honest. And Matic is Matic. So bringing in people like Tielemans and Fernandes, who both can create, gives us some fluidity and balance to the midfield. So he's essential to me. I've done the videos on him. I've spoken about him a lot. He's absolutely essential for Manchester United. That takes our spend to £290 million. We've got Fernandes, Tielemans and Partey. We've got Koulibaly and we've got Wan-Bissaka, and we've spent £290 million. Now, the only thing I can manipulate to maybe get a little bit more money is to not get Koulibaly and maybe get Harry Maguire for 70, which gives us 40 million. That would take it down to 260, so that gives us 40 million. And of course, what happens then is you've got Irving Lozano, 40 million, £300 million spent. You could get Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Thomas Partey, Yuri Tielemans, Bruno Fernandes, Irving Lozano for 300 million quid. And obviously that's assuming that Pogba goes. So yeah, that's the option. You downgrade Koulibaly, you get Lozano, and it's £300 million spent. If you want to get Koulibaly, you've got to add 30 million on. That's 330 million. Are we going to spend that even if Pogba goes? Maybe. But of course the problem with Lozano is £40 million. We know that's what his going rate is because we know that's what Napoli are going to pay. But you got Di Marzio last night saying Lozano to Napoli's basically done. They're just sorting out rights with Mexico brands and things like that. So Lozano's probably off the table. And Lozano at 40 million, look, I know some people don't rate him, but 23 again, I think he's a really talented player. I think he's ready for that step up. He'll prove himself. He's a professional player. He's dedicated to the game. He ain't going to be dancing, dabbing or anything like that. Not that that matters, but he isn't. He's going to be focused on being a Manchester United player. Right winger. I think he brings a lot to Manchester United, and 40 million is a steal. But we're not going to get him, I don't think, because I think he's going to Napoli. So who are we getting on that right-hand side? Who are we going to get? I mean, there are options. Nicola Pepe, he's probably going to cost 60 million, so that's more money. You know, Leon Bailey we've never been linked to, and I'm not convinced United would be looking at him. Stephen Bergwijn is interesting. He'd probably be around the same sort of price. I do like him. He is an option. The right wing option's really weird for United. We don't know what we're looking at, but the spend. I mean, look, let me just do this. This is what we should be doing. That's the player we should be getting. 100 million quid. Jadon Sancho, 19 years of age. High interest from United. Madrid, PSG, Man City, medium interest. That's going to be high next summer. It's now or never for Jadon Sancho. And if he showed any inclination that he wanted to come to Manchester United, like a lot of people have said, then we should be all over that deal. But the problem with Jadon Sancho is, if you think 50 million on Wan-Bissaka, 70 million on Maguire, so that's 120 million, 40 million on Partey, 160, 40 million on Tielemans, that's 200, 60 million on Fernandes, that's 260, 100 million on Sancho, that's 360 million. We ain't spending 360 million. And this is why this project has really sort of opened my eyes to a little bit of panic, I suppose, because we all know what midfielders we want. And we all know what centre-backs we want. And we all know what right-back we want. And we all have an idea of what right-winger we'd go for. But even if we sell Paul Pogba, how do we do that? And let me just say this. Imagine we don't sell Paul Pogba, so we don't get three midfielders, okay? 50 million on Wan-Bissaka, 70 million on Harry Maguire. That's £120 million spent. Let's say we get Partey, so that's 160 million spent. Bruno Fernandes, 220 million spent. Even if we get a £40 million winger, that's £260 million spent, and we haven't sold Pogba. We ain't going to do that. So I'm a little bit worried about how we're doing this. How are we doing this summer transfer window? We know we need a centre-back, we know we need two midfielders, and we know we need a right winger. But we know we're going to spend 50 million on the right back, which isn't the priority position, which is at least 25% of our transfer budget. It worries me how we're doing this summer, what the plans are. Because we could all spend 300 million. We could all spend 400 million. I think you could do what you need to do for 400 million, 350 million. But we know United don't spend that sort of money. And are they going to break the mould and do that? Even if Pogba goes, I still don't think 300 million is enough. 200 million transfer budget, 100 million from Pogba's sale. It's not enough. Even if, as I said, Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Partey, Tielemans, Bruno Fernandes and Lozano still takes you over 300 million. So how are we going to do this summer? How are we going to do this summer? I want people in the comments below, because it is a £300 million challenge, and it's a real challenge. It's one that Solskjaer is living right now. It's one that Ed Woodward is whacking his calculator out now, trying to figure it out. How would you figure it out? £300 million. If Pogba goes, how do you do that? How do you do that? I mean, look, one option is you save yourself 50 million on Harry Maguire and you get Toby Alderweireld for 25 million. That frees up another 50. That's a good idea, but I think Toby Alderweireld plans to stay at Spurs, so that is potentially a door closed as well. There are ways around this. I don't think Sean Longstaff for 25 million instead of signing a Tielemans and saving 15 million is right. But maybe this is what we're seeing. Maybe Daniel James for 15 million, Sean Longstaff for 25 million. It's not about, oh, in the future they're going to be good players. It's about, well, we can get a right winger cheap. We can get a midfielder cheap. Maybe that, and they might become brilliant players in 3 or 4 years. Maybe that's the angle we're going at here. We're buying these players because we're thinking, well, they're cheap and they fill a hole that we need to fill. You know, we've lost Herrera. Let's get Longstaff in for 25 million. I hope we're not doing that. I prefer the idea that we're buying them. We're not going to put them in the first team straight away. They're players for the future, but we've got a bank of money to spend on the players for the now. We've got the money to do it. I mean, look, let's not start weeping and crying with our smallest violin in the world. Manchester United have got the money to do it. Have we traditionally spent that sort of money? Not to the extent that I think we need to spend this summer. We need, if Pogba stays, we need to spend 250. If Pogba goes, we need to spend 350. And that will only fill the positions that we need to fill. Right back, centre back, two midfielders, right winger. 250 million if Pogba goes. Right back, centre back, three midfielders, right winger. 350 million if Pogba goes. That's it. It's as simple as that. I mean, get in the comments if you disagree with me, but that is what I think about it. I think that, you know, as we go back through these players, that's sort of where we are with it. And United need to be aware of that. And, you know, so I suppose that, look, I think United are going to sign 4 players minimum. Do I think we're going to get every position covered that we need to? I think we might be disappointed. I mean, are we really going to get a right back, centre back, 2 midfielders and a right winger? At this point, I don't know. Daniel James doesn't count to me. He's not a right winger, he's a left winger, and you cannot put a Swansea player from the Championship onto the right wing for a team that wants to be in the top 4 and say, crack on, mate. It's not fair. It's not fair on him. It's not fair on the fans. It's not fair on the status of Manchester United Football Club. You cannot chuck a Swansea youngster into Manchester United on the right wing and say crack on. He needs to be. We didn't do it with Ronaldo. You've got to feed them in gradually. So who's the right winger? That's the question I would ask. Anyway, please do smash a like on the video, everybody. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Something a little bit different, but something very, very important. So look, how would you spend 250? But more importantly, do you think we're going to spend that? How do you get all those positions? And let's not forget, Tielemans at £40 million is cheap. Thomas Partey at £43 million is cheap. Of course, Rabiot as a midfield option is nothing. So that saves you money as well. And maybe that's where United are looking at Rabiot and going, look, you get Rabiot in, you haven't got to spend any money. And that frees up money elsewhere. That's a clever idea. But to me, I've gone with what I want, not what, I don't want to be a scrimper. I like Rabiot, but I'd prefer Partey and Tielemans. I really would. But get your comments in below. How would you do it? And how do you think we're going to do it, most importantly? Thanks, everyone, for watching. Remember, if you want to come and watch United Stand FC tomorrow, it's midday. Details in the video description. You can also get your United Stand merch. Link in the video description. Hoodies, polo shirts, United Stand FC tops. It's all in the video description. Support the channel, support the team. I shall see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.